Is it possible for you to start an online coaching business where you love your clients, you feel like you're making a difference in the world, plus you're making six figures per year doing it? What if you have no following or credentials, or you aren't even sure what you want to help people with? The answer is yes, and this podcast will show you how. My name is Brian Elwood, and welcome to the Aligned Coach Podcast. What's up, guys? Brian Elwood, and today I want to talk about money, because I know that if you're a coach, then your number one goal is probably to make more money and to get more clients and to make your business be successful, right? To make your business be able to pay your bills. If you ask 100 coaches what their number one challenge is, most of them will tell you it's client creation. I've got to make money with this business. If I don't, I'll have to go back and get a job. And I understand why that happens. And I also know that it's very problematic to make that your number one goal. And that is what got me into a lot of sticky situations as a coach, because I was making all my decisions based on what would make me the most money. I basically ended up building a coaching business that I barely recognized, that I did not like. Okay. So who here has heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? It's that little pyramid. You've probably seen it before, and it stacks in order the different needs that human beings have. And our brain is designed to satisfy those needs in that order. And at the very bottom, the most primal, most important need is that to survive. Who here resonates with me? I mean, you have to, because that's how your brain is wired. Your brain is wired to say, where am I going to eat and drink and get shelter from, right? That is number one. And that is the number one thing that will motivate you if those needs are not met, okay? And so you're starting to see where the problem lies when you start your coaching business and you come from that place of, this has got to work out for me. I've got to get a client within the next 30 days. That attitude of survival, it is really problematic, and it clouds all your judgment, and it disconnects you with your legacy. But because your brain is wired to survive first, you cannot make this go away. So I cannot tell you, hey, don't care about money. Just put all that to the side. Like, it will not work. Even if, I tried to tell you to believe that, it would not work if you are in survival mode, because your brain will always prioritize survival first. And so when someone quits their job and they decide to go and be a coach, and let's say they have, 3 months worth of savings, and then their money's going to run out or whatever, they're sort of putting themselves in a position where they're going to be in survival mode. And that being in survival mode and being a leader, being the type of leader that a coach is required to be, those do not mesh, okay? Not in any shape or form are those a good fit for each other. Real leaders don't act from a place of survival mode. And so if you are a coach who's not in it just for the money, in the long run, you actually want to make a big impact and leave a legacy and make a big difference in the world, which is, I'm guessing, if you're watching this, that's you. Most coaches are like that. Most coaches are not just looking at the coaching industry as this money grab. Okay. And so if you are one of those coaches who really cares about your legacy and you envision a big impact that you're going to leave on the world, then you're doing your legacy and your impact in your coaching business a huge disservice by showing up to it in survival mode, by showing up to it with no money in the bank account, and you need the business to be what makes you the money. So if this is your bills, you need this much to pay your bills, and you're anywhere below, you're going to be in survival mode. And looking at your business as a way to get out of survival mode is a bad place to look at your business from. That will cause you to stray from your vision. It will cause you to get shiny object syndrome. It will cause you to switch your strategy entirely because you click on some ad that tells you that you need to whatever, do more Instagram stories or start a Facebook group or have a webinar funnel or whatever it is. You're looking at your decisions like, well, what will help me survive? And that's a place that I operated from for a long time. I'm lucky that I got into real estate investing prior to becoming a coach, and I had a bunch of rental properties and wealth and passive income built up that I could burn as I figured out the coaching industry, because really, like, even prior to the 6 years of experience I have as a coach, I was just burning money and time trying to figure it out. And oh man, like, I wish I could get all that money back because I spent it on things I didn't need. So what I'm basically saying to you guys is, like, if you are struggling to make enough money as a coach and you can't figure that out, and you're entering your coaching business in a survival mode mindset, it would actually be better for you to go back and get a job or to go drive for Uber on the weekend or do something else like on the side, just so that the money is coming in and you can, like, flip that switch in your brain off and say, okay, I'm out of survival mode. Now I want to get into impact mode and thrive mode and legacy mode and really think about how I want to build this business and what I'm really going to be proud of, what I'm really going to love, and what's, the long-term game. Most coaches are playing a very short-term game. They're just looking at their revenue over the next 30 days, and that is their scoreboard for success. And to me, I just don't resonate with that. Even though revenue is linked with how many clients you signed, so that could mean that you got more people into your program, it doesn't indicate how many of your clients had success with your program, just it indicates that you sold them into it. And I just know that when I'm on my deathbed one day, I'm not going to be asking somebody to bring me my profit and loss statements from 50 years ago so I can see how much money I made in March of 2021. Hopefully I'll live more than 50 years from now, right? Estimate. I'm going to be thinking back and I'm going to be looking at the lives I impacted and what did I leave behind. I want to write a dozen really good books that become bestsellers and change lives all over the world and get into the hands of millions of people for very cheap, because books are cheap. And that's one thing I envision when I look at my legacy. And, a lot of coaching programs that you would join wouldn't tell you to start by writing a book. It is not strategically the best advice when it comes to making money in the next 30 days. Like, the person who starts writing a book will make $0. The person who does cold DMs might make some money. But if you're coming at that decision from a place of survival, then you're going to choose the cold DMs because you're like, well, I got to make some money in 30 days. But if you're not forcing your business to make you enough money to live on immediately, then you can slow down, you can decompress your mind, you can get out of survival mode and reconnect with that legacy you really want to leave and how you want to leave it. Like, for me, it's writing books primarily. And then a new level of patience comes into what you're doing. And a lot of this comes with being in alignment with the right client, the right niche, the right offer, the right marketing channel in the first place, which is what I talk a lot about. If you made your decision on what you're going to coach people on, based upon what can make me money, you might have to change that when you reconnect with what's the legacy you really want to leave. What do you feel is the greatest gift that you have to give to the world? If you could really strip away, like, to the deeper layers of what you do, what's the greatest gift that you have to share with the world? I think that when we're on our deathbeds, we will know whether or not we accessed, whether we tapped into that gift, that max potential of whatever it is we had, and shared it with the world and used it to make the world a better place. I suspect a lot of people, when they're at that stage of life, they know whether they did or did not achieve that. And for me, that's really important. I feel like that's one of my primary purposes for being here on Earth. And so I'm in a place now where I'm not going to let any guru or program or Facebook ad like get me off track, derail me from where I'm going. When you know where you're going, you can use all the different programs and things out there to accelerate and to amplify, because they're not all bad, some of them are really good. But you've got to know authentically where you want to go. And you can't know that if everything is about money. Brendon Burchard is one of my mentors, and I've gotten to spend some time with him personally. And that guy does not care about money, has never cared about money. And he's said it many times, in our smaller groups and our mastermind. And, the dude is all about impact and legacy. And he left money behind a long time ago. And his decisions in his business are based around his legacy and his impact. Thinking like someone like him does is the way to go. Someone like him is not going to make a decision that's not in alignment with what he wants to do just because it'll make him more money. And I know you might say it's easy for him because he's, worth millions and millions of dollars. Obviously, he doesn't have to worry about money. I invite you to explore ways in which you could worry about the money less in your coaching business, even if it means you have to make some money from somewhere else for a time being, so that you can really slow down and reconnect with what you want to do with your time here on Earth. What is the legacy you want to leave? What's the impact you want to make? How do you want to do it? You don't have to show up and do all this different shit that you don't like every day in your coaching business. It's your business. It's only your business. Like, nobody else can tell you how to set it up or how to do it. You may not be using the latest and greatest marketing and sales strategies, but you need to love what you do, because really the biggest reason I see people fail is they just give up. They quit. That statistic that like 9 out of 10 small businesses in America fail within their first year. How do you fail at something within 1 year, right? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, obviously the person had to give up, because 1 year is not even enough time to mark something a success or a failure. So obviously the person just stopped trying, and that's why they said, well, it's a failure because they closed down. Check. And so in order for you to have consistency and longevity, you need to love what you do. You need to leave that legacy and be working towards the legacy that's actually meaningful to you. There's a saying that it says success is just taking consistent action over time. If you break that down, success would mean the legacy you want to leave, not just money, but what is the real impact you're going to make. Consistent action means showing up consistently. That means, probably nearly every day, and taking some form of action, the same way I'm taking action right now on this video. Over time, which means years and years of doing consistent action almost daily. So you need to take consistent, almost daily action for years. You will not do that if you don't like what you're doing. I promise you, you won't. I promise you, you will quit. And one of the ways to get going down the wrong road into something you never wanted to do in the first place that now is like draining you and you don't like it is to make decisions based upon money. What can make me the most money? You know, like just Google how to make money online if you want to see the list of the worst ideas that you could do. Because that whole motivation is just like, how could I make a quick buck? And if that's the way you live your life, I just don't know how happy you'll be at the end of life as far as you tapping into your greatest gifts and sharing them with the world. That requires slowing down, getting real on what you want. And when you get this right, when you get out of survival mode in your business in one shape or another, and you reconnect with what really moves you and what you really want to be doing, and you give yourself permission to do that, what that feels like is just having a very relaxed confidence about what you're doing. A new sense of inner peace that everything is okay the way it is right now. And we're not only going to take consistent action, but we're also going to bring patience to seeing that outcome. And it also means not giving in to shiny objects anymore. Never before have I cared less about what other coaches are doing to grow their businesses than right now. Because I just decided that I was going to be honest about how I wanted to grow my business. And I was going to set it up in a way that I would love every piece of it. The client I serve, what I help them with, the way I market my business. And I would play the long game. I would slow down and really build the business and the impact and the legacy that I love. And so that's what I want for you guys, is to have that relaxed confidence and that clarity on what you really want. Total game changer. And this is obviously completely contrary to all the other advice out there that just tells you to build a webinar funnel, right? You can see how much more surface level that is than what we're talking about today. So I hope that helps, guys. And what I've covered today is the main thing that I address in my 6-week workshop. That's a one-on-one coaching program. And it takes coaches who are already in the game and they're getting by, but they feel like they're not really making the impact they want to make. And they want to get a lot more gratification and joy out of their business. And typically what that means is one or more of the following: pivoting to serving a new client or coaching in a new niche, rebuilding their offer, that's something that they really believe in, and choosing marketing strategies that they enjoy doing, that they can do with that consistency and longevity. You know, we also address your pricing structure, your delivery model, and if necessary, a transition plan from what you're doing now to that business that you would love to do. So if you guys are interested in seeing if that would be a fit for you, shoot me a DM. We can have a quick chat over Messenger to see if it's a fit. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Go out and build the legacy that you were here to build. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.